So we're back with another buying guide video. This time we're going to be taking a look at the 10 best fragrance clones ranked by performance. So towards the bottom of the list are going to be the lesser performing ones, working all the way up to some of the best performing clones on the market right now. Now I've done videos similar to this before. I've done like the best performing blue fragrances or a buying guide based on the best performing ones. I've done a buying guide on the best Aventus clones ranked by performance. We're not focusing on any particular clone fragrance in this video. Like these are a mixture of different clones, but they are some of the best performing ones on the market. So if performance is the thing that you're prioritizing here and you want to make sure, no matter what clone it is, that it does do really well and you get your money's worth, this is going to be the video for you. Ultimately, you're going to be talking about a lot of savings with this video. You know, a lot of the things out there that we're talking about in this video, very expensive, but these clones are much more affordable and you get really good performance out of them. I will provide links to these down below. A lot of those links will take you over to Fragrance Buy. That's where I've done the bulk majority of my clone shopping from. They tend to get them in first and at great prices. A lot of these you'll find will be around anywhere from $20 to $40. Maybe there's a few outliers that are a little bit more, and we'll touch on those as we go, but these are all going to be really affordable. Starting off at the bottom of the list, and this is not a bad performer, but when you compare it up against the top 5, it would be, but still it's a good performing scent. At the bottom of the list though, it's Paris Corner Charuto Tobacco Vanille. So Paris Corner has a lot of little miniature brands that kind of branch off. This one is though a Paris Corner, as you can see on the back right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it says it. But this is, I guess, technically Pandora Scents, which is another line of theirs. Now this one is very much a clone of Tobacco Vanille. You could probably tell by the name of it, but if that wasn't enough for you, when you get your nose on it, very much Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. It is a fantastic clone. This one can be a little bit hard to get. It sells out often because it's so good and so cheap, right around the $20 to $25 range. When it comes in stock, people just buy a ton of them and it goes quickly. That's just how it is, unfortunately. But that does mean it's really good and people are wanting to get their hands on it. If you want a fighting chance at being able to catch this one in stock when it does restock, along with any of the other hard to find scents in this video, I have a mailing list you can sign up to if you hit the first link down below. Anytime any of these come into stock, I will send an email out. You will be the first to see it so you can get your bottle before it does sell out. This one is right around an 8-hour performer. So like I was saying, it's not bad. It just is relative to the top 5 and everything like that. But it's still a good performer, but it is kind of starting off the list. At number 9, we have Latava Parfum. This is an eau de parfum. This is a clone of YSL EDP. So towards the bottom of the list, because while it does have pretty good performance, at kind of around the similar ballpark of the Pandora scents there, the Tobacco Vanille in that 8-9 hour range, it isn't as good as Y Eau de Parfum itself, which for me is a 12+ hour performer. That being said, Y Eau de Parfum, even at discounters, is a $120 scent, $110, somewhere around in there. It's expensive. This, I want to say, $25 to $30. Somewhere around in that range. So significant savings for a few less hours of performance off the real deal. I'll let you be the judge and make your own decisions there when it comes to your purchases, but this is still a great clone for the price and get you very close to that popular DNA. At number 8, we have our Moff Club de Nuit Iconic. So this is kind of a hybrid clone to me. It's Bleu de Chanel. Pick your favorite concentration, either the EDT or EDP, just kind of a mixture of both of those. Not so much the Parfum, I guess. So if your favorite's the Parfum, don't pick that. It's closer to the EDT or EDP. Meets Elysium is how I view it. And the reason why is because you get that grapefruit and that kind of smoky incense quality off the top. But then you also get a lot of vetiver. And the vetiver and the citruses and the ambroxan and just even the style of vetiver is very similar to that of Elysium and some of the Elysium smelling scents out there. A lot of what makes up Elysium is the vetiver. You may not think of that initially, but when you really start breaking it down, it's that vetiver compound that makes it shine so much, along with the citruses, of course. So a lot of times when you see other Elysium comparisons, a lot of times if you kind of look and you pay attention to what you're smelling, the vast majority of them are kind of held together by that Elysium vetiver accord, and that's what makes them so similar. And that's kind of what this has going on. It's kind of a hybrid of the two. Ultimately, though, it's a blue fragrance-inspired scent. It's got good performance of the 9-hour range or so, a great compliment getter, super versatile, and right around $50. At number 7, coming in at around $40 to $45, depending on where you're shopping, Afnan 9 PM, and this one is going to be a clone of Ultramale. So a little bit less than half the price. Ultramale, it's up there into the upper 90s, lower 100s, right around in that range. Bottle size dependent, of course. You can actually get the 200 mils, I believe it is. Giant bottle, like 125, 23. So price per mil wise, it works out to be pretty good if you are willing to spend that extra money. Ultimately though, how many people really need that much of Ultramale? Or how many of you need Ultramale if you can just do with getting this fantastic clone, which is a really good price point, and it's got great performance too, and gets you very close to that DNA. Similar deal around the 9-hour mark with this one. Great longevity, great price point, get you that sweet, kind of cinnamon, fruity, vanillic, Ultramale smell. This is not going to be for everybody in the fact that it does have a very sweet delivery, so make sure you're aware of that when going into it. If you are hesitant to blind buy Ultramale, well, at least this one is at a lower price point. Maybe you would feel more comfortable with splurging on this versus the extra money going for Ultramale. So this one would make it a little bit more blind buy safe, so to speak. At number 6, we have Latava Parfum. So this is one of the most popular Angel's Share clones by Kilian. There's Emir Fire Your Desire, which is also a Paris Corner. You'll see a lot of Paris Corner, a lot of Latava and everything like that in this video. Just some top clone brands right now. So there's a couple different brands that have their own interpretations of Angel's Share, but the Latava one is arguably the most popular. That being said, it also isn't the closest, believe it or not. I think Emir Fire Your Desire is closer to Angel's Share than Camera is. However, I do get incredible performance out of this one. It's sweeter, and in some ways it's going to appeal to people more than the Angel's Share smelling ones that get closer, because that DNA may not be for everybody either. It's kind of one of those things where you just got to pick what you're looking for, pick what works best for you. Ultimately though, when you can get this one in stock, it's right around 35, I think, 35. Maybe 37, somewhere around in there. Often does sell out because it's just in super high demand. So getting on that mailing list will almost guarantee that you can get a bottle given you get to my email in time, because even sending the emails out, they go very quick. That being said, it is worth hunting down and picking up. Great performance in the 10-hour range, very sweet. Starting to go out of season for this one, but you can pick yourself up a bottle for the end of the year. Okay, breaking into that top 5 that I've been referencing here. Pretty much from this point on, it's all going to be splitting hairs somewhat. There is actually a little bit of a jump coming up, but especially more so the top 3 splitting hairs. One day, one might perform better than the other, and then that would get bumped up and the other would get bumped down. You can only spend so much time obsessing over it before you realize that it doesn't matter, because once you get up to that level, they're so strong and they're lasting so long that it doesn't even matter. You don't even need that much performance out of them. But these are all just in general great performers, and when you factor in the price point, it's pretty remarkable. But at number 5, we have Haramain Detour Noir, premium latent clone for a great price. Now there's also a scent which isn't from Haramain. What do you know? Come to find out, a brand completely took the Haramain bottle style and then just made clones, and we don't know what the brand is. It's Amber Oud Blue, okay? Exclusive Blue. Amber Oud Exclusive Blue. Premium latent clone. It's more expensive, $60, $65. It's next straight to Parfum. I'm not talking about that one though, although it's just a weird situation overall. I'm talking about an actual Haramain Detour Noir here at number 5. Smells so much like latent, it's almost not even funny. It is in that 10-hour range as well for longevity. Great performance, great quality for the price, amazing stuff on a complete budget around $35. At number 4, Haramain Laventure Intense, one of the best performing Creed Aventus clones on the market, if not the best. It's featured actually at number 1 in my best performing Aventus clones buying guide. It's right up there with stuff like Club de Nuit, Intense, limited edition Parfum, and things of the like. Again, splitting hairs type of deal. One day one might perform better than the other, but during my testing phase, the Laventure Intense came out on top of the best performing one, hence the number 1 spot on that video. And again, that's talking about the Aventus clones. There are clones out there that are even stronger than this that we're going to touch on in a minute, just to address that controversy before people get confused and leave a comment about, oh, this is at number 1 in your Aventus clone, but not in this. We're not just talking about Aventus clones in this video. These next few coming up are just ridiculously strong, but this one's over that 12+ hour mark. It's completely insane. Oh yeah, and price on this one, I want to say right around $30. A little bit hard to get as well, so kind of got to watch out for it. I think Joma Shop had these for $29.99 for a while, and then they sold out. Okay, top 3, really getting down to the wire here. These are some great performers. This one, for a shockingly low price of $22 to $25 sometimes, Latava Assad. A $20 scent making it into the top 3 is pretty crazy. This is a Sauvage Elixir clone. Sauvage Elixir itself is incredibly long-lasting, very strong. This one is not to the level of Sauvage Elixir, but it is really close. And when you're talking about this much savings, it almost just makes you wonder, why not go for this? 12 plus, similar deal. It is crazy, crazy strong and gets you incredibly close to the Sauvage Elixir DNA. I don't know of really too many other clones out there on the market of that one right now, but I find it hard to believe there's going to be another one that comes along that's much better than this. At number 2, Baruch Pearlador. This is actually a Parfums de Marly Carlisle clone. Fantastic performer, but above all, the quality and delivery of this one is stellar. It is shocking just how elegant this one is, how well put together, how well blended it is. It truly is PDM Carlisle. There's no denying it. There's no missing it. It's so close. It really kind of makes you wonder why you spent close to $300 on your bottle of Carlisle when you could have bought this for, I think I paid $60. It's kind of usually around the 60 range. So a little bit more expensive relative to these others, but relative to Carlisle itself, it's a drop in the bucket. These are also 85 ml bottles, so a little bit of an oddball size, a little bit less juice, but still price per mil works out to be significantly more affordable with this one still. It's an eau de parfum, but that quality and that performance to price ratio is amazing. 12, 13, sometimes getting into the 14-hour range. It is absurd. And our number 1 spot, my strongest clone currently in my collection. This one I've talked about quite a bit on the channel. I've done a full review and all that good stuff. It is insane. And what it is a clone of is also very strong. And if I were to do a top 10 strongest, best performing niche fragrances video, what this is a clone of just might as well make it at number 1 too. So both the clone and the real deal are insane performers. At number 1, it's Haramain Amber Oud Ruby Edition. So this is their take on Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. Now, the eau de parfum is very strong, and Haramain Amber Oud Rouge is also very strong, and that is their 540 EDP clone. However, the Extrait of BR540 and Ruby, a clone of the Extrait, are even stronger than that. So what's the difference between the two besides the concentration and performance? Well, primarily it's the almond accord, which is an additional note that's added to the Extrait and Ruby, but isn't present in the EDP. So it really gives it more substance and more base. Now you might be asking, okay, how does a scent that is one of the strongest ever not have substance, or how does it not have substance? The DNA is very strange, and if you haven't smelled it before, I encourage it. It's light, it's transparent, it's wispy, it is woody, but not in a super heavy cedar wood type of way. It's using a lot of saffron and amber wood and things of that nature. So ultimately, the way I can best describe it is how I just did. Airy, wispy, and light, yet somehow mega monstrous performance. A couple sprays will occupy an entire room, no problem. And in terms of longevity, 14 plus, it is completely wild. This DNA is prone to causing anosmia or olfactory fatigue or nose blindness, whatever you want to call it. So make sure you're aware of that. The more sprays you do, the quicker you will bring on that nose fatigue, and then you'll be going around saying that everyone's lying and it only lasts for 45 minutes. It's a common thing that people seem to not be able to figure out. Unless you're new, then obviously that makes sense. But you got to keep in mind, guys, this stuff, along with 540, Extrait, Eau de Parfum, they do that type of thing. It's all of the amber wood, the ambroxan, the ambergris, as if they're really using real, who knows. That's primarily one of the causes, so be aware of that going into it. Yeah, this stuff is crazy strong. If you're looking for performance, look no further. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. The best fragrance clone buying guide ranked by performance. Let me know down below if you have any of these and which ones are your favorites. I will provide links down below. And again, guys, don't get too discouraged. If some of these are out of stock, they will come back, I promise. And if you're on that mailing list, you will have the best shot at getting them. You know, I can't control that, and I don't want to not feature these in videos because they're sold out, because it would be impossible for me to time the video to go up when they're in stock anyway, because they would sell out within a few hours and then they're back to being out of stock. So sometimes I can't avoid it. I try not to post a ton of videos full of out of stock stuff all the time, but sometimes like this, you can't help it. But I'm getting the word out there. Now that you know, just be on the lookout for them and you'll be able to get one at some point. And it's worth waiting too, in my opinion. Don't go on eBay and then spend $100 or $150 for a clone, if that's even a thing, when you can get them in stock for $30 to $40. So just wait, be patient, they will show up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.